Going live. We are live. All right, so the first thing we need to do is a sound check before we get started here. We are live. All right, so the first thing we need to do is a sound check. And we are good. Sounds good to me.
Awesome.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast, or welcome back to the channel. And we are glad you are here. Let me get this thing. There we go. Everything is good now. Okay. So welcome back, everybody. In the last episode, the last two episodes, we had a great talk. We had a great discussion, and I'm glad you were here with us. So today we're going to get into our new topic, and so today we wanted to go over with you the idea of just starting new, what it's like to have your day changed or have your routine messed up because of whatever thing happened, and doesn't matter what it is. The point that we want to get is not into what the problem is, but how you deal with the consequences and results afterwards. Like, how do you manage it? How do you handle it? How do you manage it? How do you proceed through? So now that you know what we're going to talk about, let's say hello to Luna. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Glad to be
Good.
here. I love the topic.
Yes. And I
Mhm.
also am happy your sound is working great, and so we can hear you just fine. So that's
Yes.
good. And so who did you want to kick us off today? Did you want to get the topic going, or you
I
want
always
me?
enjoy when you do it.
All
I mean,
right.
you just flow right on out and then
Okay.
I can bounce
Hopefully,
off of
hopefully
you.
we're good. All right. So today this one would be a little bit more just like just things that I've experienced, kind of using examples of how things have gone in my life, the way I've processed it, and how I've just kind of managed to just make it through for a new change, and like how do I handle it. So this is going to be more raw, more real, especially for me.
Mhm.
Um, no notes, but we're just going to talk about it how it is. So anyway, through a lot of my journey, like I've always had this problem where I misunderstood no matter how honest or genuine my intentions were. Whereas I'm doing something, I think I'm doing so good. I'm checking in. I'm like, what do you think? How's it going? And it seems like no matter how much you check in, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, there's always something wrong. And you're like, it couldn't possibly be me, because no matter what I'm doing, like I am giving this an honest effort. I'm trying, but there's some sort of hang up. And it's funny because this week I had heard a topic come to me that was basically going over the idea of like, how do you process through um how do you play a game without actually been giving a rule book first. Like, how do you proceed through it if something's about to happen to you and something is going on, like you're in the middle of something and you don't know what that is, right? So it's akin to you're about to play a board game or a video game, and you're reaching into this unknown and you're just like, I don't even know what to do. So how do you ground yourself so that um, since you don't know what it's going to be, how do you ground yourself in a way that whatever steps you take teach you what's about to go on? And that's the concept that I like to go on when it comes to navigating to a new journey, to a new area of the unknown, something that you've never dealt with. You kind of got to feel it out as you go, making sure that every step that you take is an intention that teaches you more about the game that you're playing, the reasons why some things are happening, and making sure that each of your reactions is to get that equal and opposite reaction. Because if you don't have anything, if you're not collecting knowledge, if you're not collecting in order to figure out what to do, um, how to proceed, how to manage, then you just cannot figure out how to proceed in a new journey. It's like, I always like to use video games as my analogies, because it's one of the few things in your life where you still have to do a quest of sorts, where somebody, especially in your older days, has to say to you, or some new game, new thing is teaching you a new role and wanting you to do a thing that you've never done before. And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what do I do? I mean, you could go on the internet and read about somebody who went through something similar, but you could also learn to value the experience, learn to learn through the experience and things like that. So that's about as much I want to go into for the beginning. Is there anything else? Is there did you have anything you want to add?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For myself on my journey, it's we talked about this one of the first times we ever spoke on the phone,
Yep.
and when you were sharing with me your journey, it was awesome how it aligned with mine in a way of the trial and error,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not really having a handbook, but there was a purpose in that for myself, and that is I got to try every way through certain things. Okay, this isn't working, so I'm going to try this. This is okay, that's not working. I had no real playbook. So my path as eventually being a teacher and a guide,
Yeah.
and uh, in helping and being of service to others, was to
Right.
have to ride out that path of trial and error
Yeah.
so I could
Yes.
go the different angles.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if somebody came to me and said, I went this angle, well, I said, oh, I went through that angle too. This is what I did.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part of the journey of life for me, and what has
Mm-hmm.
given me purpose is being able to share those experiences and being able, and I refer back to this, just helping someone get out of the hole.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here and you may feel like I'm alone, there's been times in my life where I'm totally alone, but I heard a quote one time and it said a lot of times the leaders go first, and
Mm-hmm.
we tend to get shot out first, here, pushed out into there, off the, figure it out. And then we can help others. And that's why I'm glad I'm here. That's why I'm here speaking and sharing my experiences, what I've learned. Through all these processes. So maybe if not just one, if one person can get something out of this, one soul can get something out of this in their life and apply it to their life and it helps, then I'm doing my job and I'm living my purpose. Yeah. So that's what I got there. And we have plans for life, and life has plans for us. And that's what came to me when you shared that. Was I was like, yeah. Um, One thing that I always heard, and when I always made my plans, just watching my expectation, life has shown me that I can make all the plans that I want to make,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the end of the day, life is going to life, and I'm going to have to be adaptable. And there was in my one of my psychology classes when I was getting my degree, it was an evolutionary psychology class, and James Darwin, I believe it was Darwin. Yeah, Darwin. Was it Edward or sorry off, but Darwin, I know that. But it's intelligence is our ability to adapt to change.
Yeah.
And that really struck me. That struck me hardcore because I was like, that's very true. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
how capable am I in adapting to change? And then
Yeah.
also being in my life where I have hit different types of rock bottoms, where I would hear the quote, something's got to change for something to change, and it's like,
Yeah.
I can't keep, obviously, what I'm doing is not working. So
Yeah.
I'm going to have to change something. And I notice a lot of times that change would be within myself, and then I would take
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so sorry about the movement. My battery died. I checked
Oh
everything but the
no.
battery in my headset. So anyway, that's what
No.
that was. But some of the things that you said sparked some ideas, especially from where I like um just the way it built on the ideas that I had and that I was coming from. Like just hearing like how you connected it just brought more ideas to me. And like it's like, so keeping with the analogy that we're already on, like we know that we've been forced to set out on a new journey and we're not quite sure how to do it, right? So we know we have to be conscious of ourselves, right? And then
Mhm.
again, these this goes to the names that we've picked out for the channel. But like, all right, so we have a journey that we've been set out on. We now have to figure out how it's going to go, through trial and error. We're going to need to be self-conscious, and we need to self-correct as we realize that there's certain things that are wrong with the methodologies that we've picked up. And at each time as you learn something new, that's how you figure out and gain your bearing on where to go next. And like you said, that leads me into the next point. All right, bearing of where to go next, when you were like, the leaders have to go first. And it's like, well, why do leaders go first? And it's really simple. When I said, like, all right, you're getting ready to play this new video game experience, how many people before they've played it want a gameplay video or want some sort of detail? Tell me the instructions, let me read the instructions. But how many people honestly say, hey, no, this is going to be a journey, don't tell me anything, I'll figure it out as I go. Like I want to have that genuine curiosity to learn, right? um
Mhm.
so that is basically the next thing you said with planning your route. So now I know that I need to be conscious of where I'm headed, and I need to learn about where I'm going and learn about what I'm about to do. Because yes, in games there's a cheat code, there's somebody who's done it first. In a lot of things there's somebody who done it first. There's only a few instances left in life in which you're going to be the first person to move in this area, or you're going to move differently. And that's business, right? Business is one of the few things you can, I mean, the gaming world, create the creative world, but that's about it. If you're not a creative or a business person, I can't think of, I mean, there are some, obviously there are some,
Mhm.
and it's definitely going to skip my mind, but for the majority of people, that's really it for you. So imagine now life has put you on a journey. There isn't an internet that you can go to. You don't know how to deal with this particular coworker or that particular family member or whatever the issue is that you're having. But you do know that you have these concepts. You know that you're going to need to self correct. You know that you're going to need to pulse check. You know you're going to need to wayfind. You know you're going to need all of these concepts that you have in these experiences that you've dealt with are the things that you'll use to move on. And finally, you have to be willing to change, like you said, because if every time that you identified a new issue and that new issue is just somehow being too hard for you to figure out where to go, then it's not right. Like, if every time you tried this and it's not, and you want to keep trying it, then you're not, and then you're just going to be in the same thing. So imagine when you're in a role playing game and you've been given a quest and you have to gather so many scales, or you got to gather so many of such item to make whatever you're going to make. um and next thing you know, you've gathered all of that, but you forget to turn it in. You can't move to the next step until you turn in things. So you can just collect and collect, and yeah, you'll get experience, but eventually your experience is going to plateau and cap because you can't get any more experience from that. So it's like, when are you ready to move on? Are you ready now? Okay. And so you have to be really ready and willing to accept this change, to accept where it is that you're going, why you're going that way, checking your routes, and now you have the formula to figure out, am I conscious enough to take this next journey? Am I ready to find my way? So,
Oh yeah. Wow. You said a lot there, and wow. I'm like, let me process this because that was great. Um, well, first off, I want to say it's Charles Darwin. Let me, that
oh, you
was
look
about to drive me crazy. I was like,
nice,
no. But
nice.
anyway, um, I love the games and how you use those as analogies. Uh, and it makes me think, as you were speaking on that, I was like, but it's like I remember because I can't play the like regular or the 3D games anymore. But when I was younger, I was a huge Sonic fan and Mario and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, I think
Thanks.
about how it would have been less fun if I would have known a lot.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
um, I just want to say too that like for years I was not conscious and intentional with any like really I was being swung with life just here and there, and I didn't understand, and I thought it was just always going to be that way. And I realized that I was very stubborn, and a lot of these things that were are would be considered as like character defects or shortcomings, like the stubbornness and all of this. What has happened is it's been used for my benefit, put on the right track. Um, Here, let's direct that here and see where you go with it. So
Mm-hmm.
we can sometimes use some of the things that weren't working, but in a different way, on a different path. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to talk about too the inner strength that comes with these obstacles
Yes.
and the things that we go through in life. And, when I was driving one day, it dawned on me because I always had a problem with the whole like, oh, this is going to prepare you for the next, heartbreak, or,
Mm.
this will prepare you for your next grief or loss. And I'm like, none of this has prepared me. But then but then it dawned on me, I was like, this year in particular and last year, I realized I was like the amount of inner strength that I have today. So what it's preparing me is the inner strength,
Mm.
not the actual situation, but the inner
Yes.
strength to be able to
Yes.
get through it. That endurance
Mm.
within is just getting rock solid. Not saying there's nothing that can come towards me that could break me, definitely so. And one thing that I want to share too is I know for myself, becoming conscious was allowing myself to feel what I needed to feel and be exactly what I was and very real with myself. It's okay that like I may have thought things or, felt things. It's just what I did with that. Um, and allowed, and gave myself permission to be that,
Mm-hmm.
with because I know I would be so hard on myself and just I remember one of my good friends, he told me, Amanda, that bat you keep hitting yourself on the head with, you need to throw it away. Haven't you done that long enough? It's not working. And I noticed that once I started like embracing
Mm-hmm.
um my journey, the feelings that I felt, the emotions, feelings, and motion,
Yeah.
and what I did with that. And I started to become more aware.
Yeah.
I wasn't wasting as much energy fighting myself, and I became a safe place for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh.
that's vital through this journey, becoming my own best friend. I'm now a safe place for me to be. I was not that in the beginning of my life. And so
Hmm.
now a lot of times I want to be to myself when I go through things because that's my safe place. I'm not judged here anymore.
True.
It's
Yeah.
not judgment. There's no
Yeah.
judgment here.
A lot retreating inward is easy because
Hmm.
it's safe. Yeah,
Yeah, very
it's
safe.
your own world. That's why I like my room. That everybody
Yeah.
has their room, and it's that safe place. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the not even human condition, because like even my dogs, like they know what their room is. They like being in there. It's their space too. So like everybody wants to feel safe in that space. But again, I feel like every time you speak, you charge me up because I get these ideas. So
You do the same for me, so I'm like, this is all.
I started writing it down because I'm like, oh man, I know exactly what to say for this and that. But so one of the things that you said that I definitely is like, it's it's a concept that I'd heard before, but I didn't value it for what it was when I heard it, was a genuine curiosity. Um, and like it could mean so much, but in the area that we're focused on, like starting and having new beginnings, if you don't have a genuine curiosity for what is new in your life or what you're approaching, you won't approach it with the amount of depth that it deserves. And if you
Oh,
don't, then it will be surface level and it will continue to be, and then you'll never dive deeper into what the meanings of whatever it could be. So like if I take these sound bowls and then I talk about like, or if I learn like how it makes these noises and what it can do, if I don't ever want to learn about vibrations, then I don't ever learn how it works or why it works. I just know that I can make some noise and oh, it was fun, it felt good, yay, and then it's
yeah.
magical, it's God. But it may be God, it still is God, but
Hmm.
it's for us though. It made for us to use for said thing. And now that we have that genuine curiosity on what it is, how it works, then we can then utilize it in its correct manner or in a better manner. So having that genuine curiosity when you set out into something new is something that cannot be undervalued. And until you see genuine curiosity as what you're trying to do, then you'll miss the mark and you won't even know how bad you're missing it. And the context that it came up with when I was told it was have a genuine curiosity for women. So when you're getting ready to talk to this new girl, you're like, hey, I want to know about her. Most guys approach and they're only asking questions to know whatever it is that they want to know. But that's not how the women mind works. They want to be in a fantasy first, or right. You could debate the women's semantics, but the point is that's probably not how you should do it. We can all agree on that, and that most
Hmm.
men approach wrong. And the reason that they approach wrong is because they forgot to have genuine curiosity. All you cared about is what you saw and how it made you feel. You forgot that this person that I don't know, I'm about to force my way into their peace or their not peace, because it could be turmoil in their life. And you just barged your way in and you didn't even have curiosity for her to then want to have curiosity back on you. And so, like, although that was the way that that term was delivered for me, like, it doesn't matter how you look at it, the same concept holds true across your life. It doesn't need to just be in a relationship. It could be a new job, a new undertaking,
Hmm.
you're learning a new skill, or you're doing something in college or school. Whatever it is, having a genuine curiosity for what it is that you're doing will help you immensely. And I'll give one more example on this point, which is streaming. Like, I've had to set this stuff up for a while and I had been messing around with it for so long, but I never just stopped. Have you ever done it? Has anybody ever done, like, looked at the glossary and just read through what even these words mean, to just be like, hey, why, like, what is this? And then there were so many words that if I had just read what it meant, not what I thought it meant or what I felt it meant or what I wanted it to mean, if I had just read what it actually meant, it would have made so much more sense. And I mean, literally, I was having sound issues in the past, couldn't figure out why it wouldn't loop, but I read one definition and figured out the entire problem that I sat there for hours. I won't admit how many hours, but it was a lot of hours trying to figure out sound issues when it was just that. Um, and then even another thing with the working out. So you do exert, you see me Zwifting, we doing all these workouts, and even if you don't care about the workouts, as a athlete, you do care. You do want to improve yourself. And I'm getting stats for figures I don't even understand because I didn't even want to read the word. But as soon as I did, it made sense. It's like,
Right.
oh, that's why I was having this. That is literally measuring the one thing I've been trying to fix. Just had to read the words. Genuine
Oh, yes.
curiosity to understand what it is I'm tackling before you tackle it as you go through. Maybe not even before, but even as you go. As I learned to stream, I could have watched 8 hours of video, but instead I decided let's just go for it. Let's just get in and move. So that's
Hmm.
that's that. That's that one.
I love that. Curiosity, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a very curious bird.
You have
That's
to
one
be in the
curious girl
spiritual
right
realm.
there.
Like
It's
how
very
could you possibly, how could you possibly be spiritual without being curious? You know what I mean? Because it's like
I
it's all unknown, and it's
exactly.
yeah, and so many false ideas out that like,
Hmm.
because one of the things that that we focus on is discussing the ideas, even if you don't believe in like how its presentation, the idea in the multiple ways that it's presented. We just go for the presentation of the idea and try and teach you the concepts that you can use to help you, but like trying to stay a little bit further out of specifics in spirituality and things like that. But either way, um like it just helps to have that that better direction for what so
Yes. And curiosity, and I love what you said about it being across the board,
mm-hmm.
because it was brought to you regarding, when meeting someone.
Yeah, yeah,
And as people, we know when someone is genuinely wanting to get to know us or projecting what they think. One thing I used to tell my best friend, I was like, he's not asking any questions.
yeah,
He don't
yeah,
care to
that's
know
true.
me.
They don't want to know.
Where are the questions?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just walked up to me and we went on this date and I didn't get no questions.
Yeah,
What? That's weird,
yeah.
right?
It does. It shows you where somebody's at. They're not dating you, they're dating their idea of you. And
Yes, and that's not good. It's like
yeah.
you might not want
Yeah,
to do that because that
that's
might be
true.
but so it's just interesting. So, and that's something that I do across the board. I'm very inquisitive. I'm inquisitive with and I've that's have you ever heard the quote? It's like, and this is what I'm trying to do with my kids as I raise them, is not teach them what to think, teach them how to think,
Yes,
and
yes,
teach
yes.
them to ask
Me too.
questions. What do you mean by that? Even if you think you know what they mean by that, I would like for you to break that down for me, because I and I think that's where that one quote I said, the more I think the more I grow, the less that I realize that I know. And it's
Yeah,
because like I've learned to walk two situations in that manner where it's like open-minded, and I'm like, this may not be what I
yeah,
think it is. This could possibly,
yeah.
I've learned in life that it's probably not.
Yeah,
And maybe I need to ask.
I like that
And, you know,
way. I like that saying. I try to look at it different so I don't hold myself back with it.
yeah,
Like the
don't,
more
yeah,
I
you
learn,
know,
the more
you.
the more I
Yeah.
know, the more I realize I don't know. Um I like to say it now as the more I know, the more I realize is deeper than what I thought.
Yes.
And that way
There's
I stay
depth.
curious and then I keep moving. I keep building on it because like if you don't know, like a topic has to be, oh no, I lost you, maybe your battery died.
Now?
Oh no, no, you're back, we're good, doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, I just stayed on and I was like, hello.
Yeah. That works.
I was like, but yeah, I like that too. And I love that you share that, Yamel, because there's gonna be things that in my life that I heard, and I'm like, like I'll use that to wreak havoc, sabotage.
Yeah.
Like I've got to change that up a bit because this is going to go
She's back.
the hell in a handbasket right now. So like,
Yep.
let me. I got to maneuver that quote because
Yes.
I know me, and with consciousness and being aware of myself, I know what I will do with certain things. Like,
Yes.
oh, okay, I could definitely use that to co-sign some BS today.
Yes,
I
that
can
was
absolutely manipulate that to work in my. But now that I am aware,
mm-hmm.
self-aware, and self-correcting, it's like I don't
Self-aware
want
and
to do that.
self-correcting.
I don't want to do that. I don't. I've learned enough the hard way that I'd rather not. Just rather not. So yeah, and I loved when you said, oh, when you were talking about, looking up the word and everything. I was like, I just thought about when all else fails, read the directions. Back,
Yes, yes. But oh god,
but
that's
there's
such a
sometimes no directions to read, and I think that's what it is with
yes.
like people like us that go through this path, and it will like it. You will recognize too because when like there's something for me to build, actually, I will try to do it without directions. Like, guess what, Amanda? Not everything in life doesn't have directions.
Yes. That's a good point, man. Even then, that's your analogy, but that's really good. Makes you want to steal it because it's like read the directions, but again, some things don't have it, and it just goes back into like you either gonna be curious to figure it out or you're not. And a lot of people, I guess that's a guy thing, right? Because they say never want to read the directions and they never want to ask for directions, but
Hmm.
maybe that is it. Maybe it's as a man, you want to be curious about some things, keep you on your
Hmm.
toes, keep your mind right. This is definitely a good way to look at things. Maybe not stuff that you're building that you need to have long term, but maybe something else. You know what I mean?
Use that vacuum and the thing falls off.
Yeah, just
Set
falling
him up
apart.
on
Your
the thing
ceiling
and it
fan
falls.
falls while you're sleep. Oh man, Final
That is
Destination in this
so.
now. Like you know what I
That's
mean?
a
Like
fear of mine, actually.
I'll just
Like the
figure it
ceiling
out.
fan falling
Wing
off.
it. It'll be okay. Don't worry. No.
Right, get over here and fix
Oh yes.
this.
One of the comments we have from Michelle is like me with the controller, just like, hey, you
Oh
just
my!
gotta go. You put this
You
thing
did
together.
that, Michelle.
Yeah. But you can
Yes.
do it, and you set out. Now you're that much smarter in this topic, right? So now look, you may downplay it, but if you think about that accomplishment of building a controller, so in this instance, we're talking about a Xbox controller specifically, but doesn't matter, right? You take this Xbox controller apart, though. What do you now know? You now know circuit boards, printed circuit boards, are what's inside of a controller, and the buttons with the gyro, or the being able to um, manipulate the signals in whichever way, and then replacing those knobs and replacing that. So now you're intimate with the electronics. I mean, you learn something new. It may not be useful in everyday life, but you did learn something.
Absolutely. And I got to be there through that process,
Yeah.
and it was really neat. And what's really cool is, supposedly there's no such thing as multitasking, but Shelly, you really like did some multitasking yesterday as you were fixing the controller, as you were being talked to, as
Yeah.
girl was staring at you, and as I was talking to you on the phone. So,
Yeah.
and you were being quote unquote Geek Squad. I can't see the chat.
Oh, I'll give it back again. One second.
Thank you. I didn't because I was like, "What?" She commented, and I didn't see.
Oh, it's there. It goes away. It doesn't stay the
It
whole
just
time.
never came. So it's
Oh,
okay. I'll,
let's
I
see.
I trust that you'll see it, and we can go from there.
Let me see.
Oh, I know what I want.
Chat box.
Look,
Yeah. You see it
when
now?
you
Do you see it?
no,
Oh, that's
there's
weird.
my eye is crossed out.
Huh.
Like has the camera and the little eye is crossed out.
Let's see if I just change it and change it back. Chat box. There we go. How about now?
No, I mean it's there, but
Nothing.
there's nothing there.
Hmm. I'll have to check
So
into that.
yeah, we'll figure it out. But I wanted to talk about when you said the curiosity across the board.
hmm
I want to give a little piece of, I may be on the journey of consciousness if this happens, or the journey of service, the journey of leadership, and, whatever. But we are Rolling Stones, period. And what I mean by that is a lot of my life, I was like, I would be I would have a job here, and then I would end up, over here doing
Mhm.
this and over here doing that. And I'm like, eventually, as I started my healing journey and my journey through consciousness, I was like, why did I just go from my career to serving tables? Like, what is
Mm.
this? And then I realized I'm being placed here. This is not why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not here for this. It's for, okay, so
Whew.
I
Them
got
reality
clean,
checks
right?
be
So
grounding, as we say. Like, ooh,
yeah, so I'm
humbling.
like, okay, so this ain't about me well, this is about me in a way, because I have something that this group of people is going to need. And
Right.
I guarantee sometimes it had nothing to do with the job. It had
Absolutely.
everything to do with the actual growth and ascending a lot of things.
Yes.
Um, and the humbling experience it was to go from my career of working in mental health, and then I was like, okay, I was in my meditation and I was led to go back to serving tables at this one job that I,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what? And I was like, okay. So, and I did. And come to find out, there were people there that that I not only did I learn from, that needed me as well.
Hmm.
And hey, and so I'll get moved.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
do.
one thing I've learned in my life, is that not so much is permanent for me.
I do
And then
think
yeah.
energies move you and attract you. Because I do think that it's both sides, and most people, they forget to do both sides of things. Like, each attraction has two sides to it. Like, it has to have both sides to attract. You can't have one side and then it pushes away, right? If you take two
Right.
magnets and you flip one the wrong way, the other
Ooh,
one
I
will just
like
walk
that.
away with it. They're not gonna come together.
Right.
And so when it comes to like having that level of attraction, or like gaining that attraction, like having something draw to you, like energies can do that. And if we don't like care to understand the energy, or like figure out how to be the opposite energy of the thing that we're having to come to us, I, you know
Mm.
what, this just hit me. It reminds me of the idea where somebody says, when you give up or when you don't care anymore, you notice things come to you. But the more you care, the more you chase it off, and it feels like that
Yes.
magnet where it's flipped the wrong way. But the moment you know I'm done, I'm
Yep.
over it. Then all of a sudden it's just like,
It's
oh
like,
no, here you go, here you go. You're like, oh, I don't even want it no more. Forget it. I don't even want it no more. But really, here it is, and now it's chasing you. And you're just like,
mm-hmm.
it's almost like the give and take of relationships sometimes, like where it's like ups and downs, and the ups and downs come from different ways. I don't know. I think that would be one of the easiest ways to analogies to put with that chasing energy. But again, it doesn't matter, because like as much as it's important to stay on all the time and to stay moving towards where you're going, like it's important to stop and sit down. And I think people forget that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is important piece to the idea that you're putting out, is like, it's basically, it's like, if uh I'm trying to make it to this next step in my life, like I'm trying to I'm trying to build, I'm trying to grow. And with this growth, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate it, and how to make something comes towards me. But if I want to make it come towards me, then I then have to be genuinely curious on how it
It comes
works.
back to
It comes
that.
full
It comes
circle no
back
matter
to
how you look
that.
at it. And I wasn't even going to go here or go this way, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just honesty. If you're going to make something come towards you, how are you going to figure out how to get this thing to want to come towards you, or to then magnetize towards you, if you don't even know why it's moving? Like, you can't figure out, oh, this is oh, let me just move it. Like if you don't
Right.
ever spend that time to just figure the thing out, then you won't figure it out. And there's many times that you can say stuff like this, and I just call it lock in. We tell people, just lock in, just set that focus and just drive through the pain of getting there. You can do it with somebody or without, but the point is, like, be genuinely curious to figure out how this thing works so that you can figure out how to attract it to yourself, so you can figure out the direction and the path that you're going to go.
Mm. Break it down to a science.
Take it to
I
the
love it.
science.
No, that's like where it's at. And I love the magnet because they talk about with manifestation and how releasing
Yeah.
the outcome. That's one thing with consciousness, and in my growth journey, was doing what I felt was the right thing to do, what I was led to do, and releasing those outcomes. Like I have control over the action that I take, but sometimes I don't have control over the outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so a lot of times it's like
I agree.
I
I
did the
think a
best.
lot of ways you always have control of your action, but not
Hmm.
always will you have control of the outcome. You'll have
Exactly.
influence over the outcome, but you cannot always
Hmm.
control. Don't get me wrong, though. I do believe that the more you master, the more control you have. But that does not
Absolutely.
mean full control over said element or said function or said energy or said,
Hmm.
and maybe eventually you can get to full control of whatever energy. Maybe that's possible. I don't know, like Doctor Strange type stuff, like
That's my
full control.
favorite
But just the
Marvel.
idea to be able to get better and control some of these things, or just because, like, you don't always have to go physical, metaphysical, or spiritual when you say things like this. You can speak as simple as your everyday tasks. What are things that you do have control over at all times? And I would say that's your physical being, like the things that you do to yourself, the things that you put inside of yourself, the way that you treat yourself, the um, 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 how would you say it? The way that you influence yourself, the way you boost yourself, like those type of things. Like you have to care and treat yourself to the right manner and make sure that you're on the right path, because if you don't, one of the other things you said is like finding your path or control, like controlling and like being able to control your direction. Because if you are not understanding the energies around you, if you don't understand the games that you're playing or the games that you're in, like the game of life or the game of work or the game of politics at work, like if you don't
Hmm.
realize that these things are games that you're in, life will then control you and put you in places. And what happens is, and that's actually how I got to the energy and pulling you places when you were saying like you had to leave one job to go to the next, right? Like you had learned everything you needed at that job. And it may seem like, oh no, I had to then, take that setback or that, something that I wasn't really looking for. But there was, like you said, something that you needed to do there. So there was some
Hmm.
energy. So most likely you had learned a concept and you were done learning it. Now it was time to enact it. Where do I have a place to enact? Well, you can do it here. You'll be fine enough here,
Oh, I like
witnessing or
that. Hmm.
ministering for the time and
Hmm.
helping these people. Um, but once you're done, you'll then be set up for the next step and the next grade. And it doesn't always have to be exactly how you planned it. It probably won't be, just because, like we said
Hmm.
earlier, there's more aspects to it than even and so there was more things that needed to happen to put you in that place. Or maybe
Hmm.
where you were, nobody was in need of what your new special skill set is. And same thing, maybe that's for me. Maybe where I was, or maybe where I have been, there was no need for the skill set that I've now, or maybe I've learned all I was going to learn from there, and now I'm forced to move on. Because for me,
Hmm.
it was comfortable, so we knew I wasn't going to move on. I'm going to stay right there and be comfortable until I thought
Hmm.
it was time. But what if God said, no, now it's time, it's time right
Right.
now, you're done, you've learned, move on now. I'm not
Hmm.
giving you a choice. And like you said, that could have happened to you. It might have been wherever, and wherever, whatever's next is how you land. But at the end of the day, like if you're not learning what you need to learn, setting your path, figuring out how you're going to get there, self correcting along the way, staying conscious about your steps, and then making sure that your direction and that wherever direction you're sent to, whatever quest you're forced to take next, whatever they do, because in the game they don't tell you when it's time for you to move the like or they don't let you choose when it's time. They tell you when it's time. It is time to move on. Your next step. Do you want to progress? Next step. Okay, same here in our lives. Next step. Do we want to progress? Okay, now we've been put here. It's time to learn. Are you going to learn? Or are you going to stay stagnant? And we can put you
Mm.
here. And imagine if you stayed stagnant at the place where you didn't even want to be. So imagine if like
Exactly.
you're not at your
Years
main
of
gig, you're now serving, and like you're stuck because you didn't want to be there. So now, and let's talk about an example. When I was in the military, I went to basic, and one of the things they always tell you is like the fastest way out of here is to just graduate. It's it's Air Force basic, so it was short. It's 2 months long, barely. It's a little over 2 months long. You're out of there. It's easy. Um, and we had a guy that they claim was trying to end himself. But the height in which our dorms were not tall enough for you to complete that activity. So what he ended up doing was breaking both of his legs and
Mhm.
ankles. He just broke everything in his entire legs. And the instructors would make fun of him, but and as funny as it may be to hear a story like that, or not funny, right? One of the things that he had to learn from that situation was now he broke his bones. He was trying to get away and get out faster, but the military rule was that you have to complete a PT test to leave. So that man
Mm.
had to heal all the way from broken bones, multiple in his
Mm.
body, before he was allowed to leave. You made it worse for yourself. So if you're put in a journey, just learn that lesson. Just take that value. You either take it, learn the lesson, or you're going to be put in a place to learn that same lesson again. So you can
Yes, the
control your
cycle
direction.
repeats
Yes, the cycle will repeat. Like
until that
relationships, that's the one that most people can relate to. Relationships. So, yeah.
absolutely. I was thinking about when what was it? What did you say? It dawned on me as soon as you and then it like I lost it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, but there was a point. Maybe it'll come to me, but it was about the going from oh, I know what it is. It came to me. It was like I just got so sick of hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's 2020. Like I'm ready, I was like, man, I need to figure out how to master seeing what's going on when it's going
Yeah,
on
when it's
because
going
I'm
on. Yeah.
tired of learning later. And even if I see some I noticed that I'm given like I'm conscious enough to be aware of what's going on, like when it's happening. But then as I grow even further, I can see more and more and more of why. So
Yes.
it's,
Yes. Yes.
but fortunately, I can most of the time, and I, great responsibility with these words because I'll have to live them. I'm telling you. If I say anything on here, okay?
That is true. That is
I do
true.
not want to because I'm like, please, like so. But you know, I would hope that I would be able to say, okay, I can see a purpose in this while it's happening, and I've
Mm-hmm.
lived enough life
Yeah.
to see that. Um, there have been things that have struck me, and I'm like, this don't seem like. I mean, what is the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of this? You gotta be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be the simplest
Yes.
things, the most minute that have major purpose too. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess when I got out of my car, or, in my car, and the battery was dead. But then I found out about that wreck right up there.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
there's just things that some things I just don't question, especially when I'm stopped in my
Yes,
tracks on my
yes.
path are
We,
moved,
yeah,
because I guarantee that I'm being protected from something. And a lot of times when I'm harmed, a lot of times, especially in relationships and certain situations, I could intuitively, I knew, but I kept going.
yes, yeah, yeah,
Or I felt the, it's time, but I kept going. I
yeah,
willed that.
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do it.
So
And so that was
we can't
definitely,
we
yeah.
can't give up. There's definitely have to have that willpower to keep going through it all. Because
Mm-hmm.
as we said before, as I said before, it will get hard. These things definitely get hard.
Absolutely. And it's okay to admit that this is hard. And
Hmm.
that's one thing I want to hone in on. This is not about, this is about seeing the purpose, being able to walk through the fire, not
Yes,
tiptoeing around it,
yes,
not this and that, but walking through that fire. And hey, it may be hard. I may cry. I may kick, scream, whatever I'm doing
yeah,
over here, but I'm walking through this and
keep
I'm going to get
screaming, but
through
I'm
this.
going. Yeah,
And my path has shown me enough of faith builders
that's true too. That's a good
to
point.
where I have, my own faith, my own beliefs that prove to me what's going on here
That
before I
works.
even went through this. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It's still scary because it's
yeah.
like this is new territory.
It's
What do
always
I
because you
do?
don't know how to end up. It can end up
Mm-hmm.
great. You could be set up and be told that it's going to end up great. Doesn't make it feel any better now. I'm sure it's going to be
I
great.
need to see
When
that.
is it going to be great? Like, how long am I going to be in this fire? Like,
Right? Well, sir, you're going to become the fire now.
right, right.
Set ablaze.
That's how it feels when you're set into it.
It
Just as
really
on fire
does.
as some of these things, just
Hmm.
like it's on fire. It's just setting this thing. You know what I mean? Just like that's how it feels.
It's like there's been times on my journey where I'm like, literally, many, many times, I'm like, I am in the twilight zone. I have
Hmm.
no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
I'm sending people random gifts of I'm in the twilight zone. Like
yeah,
I'm in new territory. I don't know what's going on. So
that's true.
yeah. So what do you
I think
think? You think we've
yeah, I think that was a
we've
great
got enough
episode
out
today.
today?
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was gonna divert into a many different ideas, but I honestly think that ended up making it one full idea. I
We
think this is a
did.
great episode. This is going to be, not going to be, this is great. Our future, I've spoken into existence.
Yes.
Yes, and just another chance for us to do this, like this spiritual ministry and this consciousness journey. So
Hmm.
I definitely appreciate you being here with me and being able to do this, doing this again. I hope everybody had a great time watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Until next time.